Everyone has a hobby they're passionate about, whether it be photography, golf, hiking, something you know better than anyone else, something you could talk about for hours on end. Wouldn't it be nice if you could help create the next product breakthrough in the hobby that you love? Well, with fanformed.com you can. Fanformed is a platform for the crowd innovation of new and innovative product ideas in hobby areas. We bring together fans, experts, and factories to collaborate around new ideas and product. To introduce our process today, I'd like to quickly introduce David, my co-founder. David is also a photography expert. And this week, together with dozens of other photography experts around the country, David will receive a sample product. That sample product will ask David and the other experts to rate, evaluate about what products they use, how they use them, and the problems that they'd like to see solved on the product. We take all of this information together to form a video. That video brief, that video brief starts a process of field testing and introduces to all of the other experts in the community what the challenge is about and what they're going to create. It provides clear instructions about the theme of the challenge. In this case, it's a photographer's backpack for backcountry photography. Once viewing the video, David goes in to the challenge, and he's immediately struck by the fact that there's a fun visual way of exploring the product ideas that he loves. He understands that there's ideas here from a crowd of people who are just like him, whether it be photos of people in the backcountry hiking, great ideas for new designs and colors, or, in this case, a compartment for his lenses. David is also excited about one idea in particular, and that's for zippers. Normally wouldn't get too excited about zippers, except for the fact that the last two backpacks David's had, the zippers broke. He goes into this idea immediately and explores the fact there's two other people just like him who've had the same problem. On top of it, he notices that there's a factory. In this case, it's Terry Chang at V-Goal. Terry's talked about a number of the materials that could help solve this problem. David hones in on the fact that gunmetal is his material of choice, and his favorite backpack in the past used gunmetal. So he's going to put some weight behind this idea. David's starting to get a sense this is a community where he can really bring his ideas to life and start forming them. And Terry, the factory owner, loves Fanform because she gets to engage in a real discussion with experts about ways that products can be improved. After spending a bit of time with this idea, David goes back out. He wants to see how this idea is shaping up. And he goes to the vision board. The vision board is a place that Fanform brings together all of these ideas from different experts and puts them in order of rank based on real feedback from the user group, the factories, and us. This is the place where ideas start crystallizing, and we're able to get an idea what the product is going to look like when we take it back to the factory. So at this point, we've taken you through the first two steps of our formation. First is field test. The second is the brainstorming phase. Now I'd like to introduce a second user. He's a guy we've been working with. His name is Cooper. He's a skateboard enthusiast. Cooper's been working on his ideas a bit longer, and they're at this stage where they're getting down to the launch stage. Not this launch stage, but he's working together with Fanformed, the factories, and the expert users. We've developed a prototype that we launch back into the brainstorming page. Cooper wants to take a closer look, so he goes into here. He notices immediately there's real feedback again from the factories and designers. And when he goes down to the bottom to see the vision board, he can see that some of his ideas have been included in the design. In this case, it's for a wheel. He's excited about this because for every great idea he adds to this, he's going to get a share of the future sales. So he goes back up, and he's going to move through and actually take a purchase. It's a great price because it's a factory direct product, and he's going to be helping us move it to the next level. We have a minimum order. In this case, it's 200 pieces, and he feels pretty confident that with the friends he has and the people that he knows in his community, we're going to help reach that order. He helps name the product and then share it into his social community. Okay? FanFormed is inspired by the possibility of recreating a relationship between customers, brands, and products by moving products and consumers closer together. FanFormed believes that fans are in the best position to create product breakthroughs and new ideas. FanFormed is a raw startup based in China, and we're currently going through seed funding. Thank you very much.
Okay, so thoughts on Kickstarter plus Quirky plus factory workers actually in the process? Thoughts? I see nodding. Rowan, what do you think?
I think it's an awesome idea. I mean, I'm a gadget lover and like an outdoor enthusiast. I buy a lot of products from all these companies, and I wish I could give them feedback. And they actually accept their feedback from technical enthusiasts, but not from me. And it would be amazing if you could go to Patagonia, for example, and say, hey, here's a way for you to actually like engage your entire community in your product design, because there are thousands of enthusiasts that I would love to use this product.
You've climbed a couple of big mountains.
A couple.
What's the biggest?
McKinley.
You climbed McKinley, wow.
So, you know, I think it's an amazing idea to go to these big brands that are really engaged with their consumers, who want a new way to engage and make their consumers into enthusiasts and pull that feedback in. I mean, I would use this all the time.
Yeah. I think, just to jump in, I think one of the ways we came upon this idea is that we live in China and we have fairly close access to a lot of factories, and all of our friends with great ideas and hobbies are going to the factories directly because they can do it there. And that's something that we wanted to give access to here.
So do you have a set number of factories that you would work with? Is that how it would work, or does it bring your own factory?
Well, what we've done is we've identified product categories in hobby areas that we know and like and have experts in. And we've started the process by going and finding the best factories in each of those category areas. I think further in our process, we'd like to open it up and be a little bit more, bring your own idea and bring your friends to support it and then launch it. But our beginning phase of 6 months to a year, we want to control the process tightly.
I immediately thought of this would be a great thing for Kickstarter or Indiegogo to partner with, because, you know, like the All of One right now, for example, everyone's giving feedback to these guys as they're building out the product.
Yeah.
It'd be awesome if they could have something like this that would help those platforms actually do a better job collecting that feedback. I think this is awesome.
Yeah.
Totally use this.
Yeah.
So what's not clear to me is how we got from the fan feedback to the actual product to purchase. How's that working exactly?
So basically, we go through a phase of trying to consolidate that in a vision board. And it's not as clean and clear a process as I think you see here. We've skipped through a couple of steps for the purpose of a 5-minute presentation. But basically, we crystallize all the ideas in the form of a vision board. We then work directly with the factories. And we have a design team in China that helps us then bring together prototypes. If the first prototype launched in the community doesn't go through, then we adjust and we go back to the second one.
Who has the final say? Like, is somebody in charge here, or is nobody in charge here?
Well, we're basically...
I mean, to rephrase your question.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
For sure. So we're going and we're developing a number of prototypes. So we're going to take one prototype, launch it in. If it meets its MOQ, its minimum order, then that's proof of success. If that one doesn't, then we launch a new one back into the community later.
So there's somebody in China who says, okay, I've taken all the feedback, made the final version as I see from your feedback.
Yeah, we'll
here it is. Does anybody want it?
That's right.
If they don't want it, start again.
We'll make multiple prototypes that we can sort of plug in.
Who owns it then? Is it you guys own it?
So
does the factory in China own the design, or is it open source?
At least with our startup and that 6 months to a year of runway where we're controlling it, we would control the IP and give a share to the people who've contributed to it.
How much of the profits go to the contributors?
In the beginning, we're reserving 25% for the contributors. If we open it up and allow more people to come in and say, I've got my idea and my group of passionate experts, we're going to open up and take a much smaller share like a Kickstarter does, for instance.
Rachel, if you were assigned the legality of doing this, I mean, you're like tipping your head back. Like,
it's China. It's easier, right?
So in China, basically, you basically would bribe a general. We understand that legal process. But here in the United States, I mean, how would you construct the sharing of revenue with individuals who you don't know? I mean, and giving them 25%, is that even possible?
I mean, I don't think it's impossible. That was actually another question I was going to ask. Do you have people that you're employing that are sort of aggregating these visual boards and, you know, figuring out this is how this product works? So effectively, they're actually taking a bunch of inputs and actually they're actually the product designers, right? Are those people on your payroll?
Right. At the moment, no. we're very new, but it's in our plan to have that group of people inside of our team that can collaborate with outside designers in the factories. And to the point on legal, I mean, we definitely anticipate that as a big part of what we need to take care of. So.
Well, Wilson's willing to give you $50,000 in complimentary legal services. Wilson will give you $50,000 in legal. Only because they know this is going to cost $250,000.
Everyone loves a good legal challenge. Yeah.
More thoughts from the panelists.
Yeah, so I worked at a company called backcountry.com, and you may have purchased some stuff there for your climbing, and we have tens of thousands of community members who are giving feedback on things. And we actually tried to do a similar thing where we brought Patagonia and others in to maybe like seed gear. Yep. They won't do it. Yep. They just won't do it. They have their designers and the people that work for them are so core in their product, and they're the ones who use it. They also have a very short turnaround time, and so they don't have time to send it out to people and wait for them to get feedback. Mm-hmm. And also, the feedback is sometimes very terrible. And oftentimes they're just doing iterative improvements on a product, not a total new product design. And so I feel like that's round hole, square peg, or whatever it is, how the saying goes. On the flip side, I think there are a lot of industrial designers out there who have an idea for something, and their biggest problem is they need a mechanical engineer. And then they need a factory support, and they need QA, and they have all these things in the process. And I feel like the story that I just got from you was all over the place, and I wish we could like rewind and have you start again and say, okay, what's the problem you're solving? Who's the very unique people?
Respond. We get the question. Go ahead. Respond.
Yeah, I think the problem that we're solving is, I think it speaks to some of what's happening on Kickstarter, and that is the opportunity to come in and take ideas that are close to your heart and bring them to life. And I think that's made possible by the factory connection. I don't think we're about raw invention like a Kickstarter is. I think we are about the iterative improvements. On
is this really a reaction?
So if it's iterative, why would I give you 75% of the revenue?
No, I mean, we're reserving 25% for the people who are helping us make iterative improvements.
Oh, so I'm giving you 25% to iterate on a product I've already developed?
Yeah.
Or it's not your product.
By the way, we're not working with brands.
Product.
We're not working with brands.
I wouldn't work with brands. I don't think that's a good idea. I think to your point.
All right, let's hear it for Fanformed. Very well done.
Thank you.
Obviously, causing tons and tons of feedback. Next up.